Oh. There's something. Okay, come back. Good morning again. Okay, so we're gonna do milligrams to grains or grains to milligrams conversion before we proceed also to meta conversion of volume. Okay, this is very important. There are a lot of reminders on this part. Okay, first, grains is not the same as grams. Okay. Grains is not equal to grams. They're not the same. Okay. Grains unit is GR. Okay. Grams acceptable abbreviations are capital G, lowercase m, lowercase gm, okay, capital G, and lowercase g. This is grains. This is grams. Metric, avoirdupois. You know how we put 100 grams, right? Or 100 G, same as 100 GM. Okay. This is Arabic. When it comes to grains, what's common is grains VI. The unit first and the Roman numerals. This is a common format. So this means 6 grains. Okay. Fun fact, back in the day, we didn't know how to measure tablets or even powders or substances. Right? So they have to have a reference for it. So they thought a good measurement for small amounts of substances would be grains. So I looked into it. What is it? And I joke about it back in the day, and I said, if it's a grain of rice, it was an Asian who discovered it. If it's a grain of corn, it's somewhere from the south who discovered it. But the truth is, based on my research on history, it was based off of a grain of barley. Okay, a grain of barley. I've never seen a grain of barley, to be honest with you, but I'll just picture a grain of rice because that's common to me. Okay. Now picture a grain of rice. Is it consistent? You think that's consistent in weight? No. One grain, be it long grain or not, or a fat grain, I don't even know what you call those grains that are like more round. Okay. There are different measurements. This is the reason why milligrams to grain conversion has a couple of different conversion factors. Okay? And this is the reason why this topic is also important. Okay? So, what we use them all. Okay? But on your worksheet, what you will see is 1 grain is equivalent to 60 milligrams. Is this true? Partly true. Okay. 1 grain to 60 milligrams is used for nitroglycerin conversion. In the PTCE, the questions in the question bank are created by pharmacy technicians, certified ones, and pharmacists. So if we want to be specific, 1 grain is actually equivalent to 64.8 milligrams. So because some people are having a hard time remembering 64.8, they just made it into a whole number 65. This is more common. Okay. And we use these conversions to drugs such as phenobarbital and thyroid medications. But when the prescription is specific, nitroglycerin, use this. Is that clear? So on the PTCE, they use drug X. And the calculation for grains to milligrams or milligrams to grains is needed. Then you have to try, right? It's either you try 65 or 60, just for easier. Okay. But if it's specific, it said that the drug is nitroglycerin, use this. If the drug is phenobarbital, in real life, it will tell you whether they base their conversion on 64.8 or 65. Is that clear? And this is why there's a couple of discrepancies. That's why I started off with history, because a grain is not exact numbers, right? It varies. So nitroglycerin, phenobarbital, and thyroid meds, you know how they're used. One thing important is you don't flip-flop them. 1 grain is 60 milligrams. What did I tell you during tutoring, Marie? You get a grain of rice input. I said, if it's so hard to picture that, you get a grain of rice and put 60 on it, which is 5. Yes, I don't think it's as easy to get a grain of barley and a grain of rice. Okay, remember this. So let's do some practice. 8 grains, 2 milligrams. Ratio and proportion, 99% of the class wants ratio and proportion. We use ratio and proportion. Dimensional analysis, if I'm to teach this in pharmacy school, like full on, I'll use dimensional analysis because I expect them to know dimensional analysis. Okay, since 99% of class like ratio and proportion, I'll adopt, okay? Which means let's start off with our conversion factor. Let's use 60. We're going to pretend this is nitroglycerin. 1 grain is to 60 mg. Where do I put the 8? On the top. 8 grains is to x mg. Oh, it can be as simple as multiplication. Yeah, but you want to set it up this way so you validate that you're multiplying, not dividing. Right? Just one extra step. You see it right away. So the answer is 480 milligrams. Correct. We still follow the rules. Drop the trailing 0. Do not forget the leading 0. It's even more important now because we're talking amount of drug. Okay. One more example. 1/50th of a grain. This is when you get stuck because it's in fractions. Okay. How do I do this? For those of you who are struggling with fractions, why don't you just do this? You're allowed to use a calculator anyway. Divide 1 by 150. Can you give me an answer? 0.007. But remember, that's still in grains. You just divided a fraction, right? That's still in grains. So to convert it to milligrams, so don't end here. To convert it to milligrams, you're comfortable with ratio and proportion. You go to 1 grain is to 60 mg. So where do I put 0.07 grains? On the top, 0.007 gr over x mg. You just validated again that you have to multiply. And the answer is 0.42 mg. Clear? Let's do some in-class work. Let's not try to take our sweet time. No homework for this part, okay? Because we're going to do our quiz after I do the volume conversion. Okay, we have one more topic, volume conversion. There's one conversion that you can use as well, which I'm not going to cover, okay? One more conversion factor, 1 gram. 1 gram is equivalent to 15 grains. That's another conversion factor. But if you don't remember this, what do? Once you convert your grains to milligrams, what do you do next? Milligrams. Just convert it to milligrams to grains. If you forgot that 1 gram is equivalent to 15 grains. Is that clear? 1 gram is equivalent to 15 grains. This is the reason why it's commonly forgotten. And that's fine. Why? If you end up on the milligrams, you know how to convert milligrams to grams, right? How many milligrams to a gram? 1,000 milligrams is 1 gram. That's it. That's why most people forget this conversion factor. And that's fine. You can get to the answer anyway.